Lads, Akali once again banned away, Kindred also going to get taken off, and I don't think there are going to be too many changes.
Yeah, I expect these to be the bans that will always stick for these teams, especially the Akali for 100 Thieves. The Varus is jumping up there as one that they are always banning. TSM, Rakan I expect to be the next one here, and then potentially the Gangplank as well, unless they feel like they'll be able to play the Ryze counterpick into it well.
Yeah, shouldn't be too much changes here. Cody Sun staying on the lineup as well. Probably expect them to keep him in. Did have a very good early game look last game for 100 Thieves. Aside from the vision mistakes around Baron, the teamfight mistakes in the jungle, they should not feel under a whole bunch of pressure after just that one match and feel like they have to switch everything up for the series.
Shen ban again though from 100 Thieves is kind of curious, so 10 seconds now for TSM to pick their final one. We're seeing quite a few support bans. I think Shen is mostly joining in as 100 Thieves revisit that first ban. And Gangplank though will be the mainstay as Irene calls it. And looks like Alistar may be selected again, but Olaf left open. Could mean that Andu had a great game one, stealing that Baron to win them the game. Will take a revisit.
Yeah, I think the Olaf will go over here. TSM now have their pick of Braum, Tahm Kench, and even going for something like the Alistar and taking that away. But the Kai'Sa has been what they've gone to here. It also was what helped them rush down the Baron and have the ability to do so. And they've picked it very early on in their drafts over and over again. I expect the Kai'Sa to jump up here.
They have first picked it multiple times. See if they feel that they need to get it that early in the draft if 100 Thieves would actually take it away.
Well, they do go for the rotation, so taking Braum and Kai'Sa. We'll see what 100 Thieves react with. It looks like Aphromo is going to stick to Alistar. He is the birthday boy after all, so going to make sure he gets this champion for the third game in a row. I think more than anything, as 100 Thieves consider this pick, I wonder if Bjergsen will take a pick earlier, because this is a decent spot to try and set up a mid lane matchup and then ban out some counters, because consistently in phase 2, he has lost the likes of Aurelia, the likes of LeBlanc.
Yeah, well, last time around, it was just blind pick the Ryze and let the LeBlanc come through in round number 2 as far as the ban phase goes. Similar strategies here from both teams so far, so it feels like they just want to play it better, make those corrections on Summoner's Rift, rather than in Champion Select.
Yeah, pretty similar here in terms of composition to before. Same bottom lanes. The Olaf is just different because it got banned in the previous game. And it was what was played in game 1 that was so good. The Graves, though, taking that to deal with the Olaf and match him, because both can power farm, but both can also have some pretty decent ganks early.
Grig has so often been on tank duty for TSM, playing the Sejuani or the Gragas or the Trundle. But now he's going to have some real firepower in his hands with Graves. You can play it super offensively. You can either go fleet footwork. Some people have gone press the attack for more burst damage. If Olaf does kind of catch you, you want to try and burst him when he's low to finish him off so he can't get those auto attacks off. He'll back up with W.
Yeah, and this is his first Graves game of the split here for Grig. And when he was brought on, aggressive jungler style, we'll see if TSM can actually play around him, and having something like that Braum always helps out immensely for the Graves and the ganks.
Definitely going to want to have some strong solo lanes to go with a Graves-Olaf matchup here. Going to be very important how these teams play around their junglers in the early game. As we saw last game, very good coordination paying off.
Ooh, Ryze. LeBlanc I expect to jump up here. Just 4 mid lane bans, plus the one from before with the Akali, so 5 will be taken off the table.
I like this ban a lot, actually, from TSM, especially in this position, because they're now pressuring 100 Thieves. Like, if you don't ban LeBlanc, how confident is Bjergsen just taking it and then playing whatever matchup where you decide to counterpick? And hey, if they ban it, you just counterpick mid lane last if that's where you want to go. So 100 Thieves, they run the clock down. They apparently did not like the Vel'Koz, because they banned that one away.
All right, are we going to get a blind LeBlanc here from Bjergsen? Doesn't seem like they trended in that direction, but it would give them, more of a lane to kind of work around, because LeBlanc can W in, chain your opponent, try and set things up with the damage that Graves can bring.
And then the Scion to bring the tankiness here. There's no Trundle that's going to be on the table to kind of reduce the resistances later, and the Olaf is what has to be dealt with. And also, Scion's one of the tanks that can win lane, or at least shove lane, and be considered a shoving lane with pretty much all 4 of his abilities in his kit are area of effect and will help him kill minions as a tank. So
Once it did pretty well in 1v1, but this time it's Cho'Gath actually for some days. So taking another tank, but of course with Shen banned, he can't have that one. So we'll take Cho here instead.
Tank and Baron killing power. Something that even if you lose your jungler, the team on the other side always has to worry about the Cho'Gath when stealing the Baron.
Also pretty good at executing any sort of marksman flying around. Pretty low health. Zilean would put a very good stop to that though. And with TSM typically running, you know, 2 hard carry composition, they already have one from the jungle. So it would be an interesting switch here. Once again, Bjergsen on the Zilean. He had a decent game. Is able to land a decent amount of those double bombs and has some pretty good timings on the ultimate.
Yeah, I remember him being about 50 CS up in game 1. That was eventually equalized, but he had a pretty large lead originating from that lane against Ryu. And now, the Desk was talking about at the start of the day, you probably want to get rid of the Malzahar from Ryu. It's a champion that'll allow him to play against Bjergsen no matter what he plays, an assassin or whatever. But they've opted for banning a lot of those champions away. But I like this because the Malzahar also stops the LeBlanc pick from coming through, which they had left up this time. So he picks the counter pick Zilean to keep his team safe.
Yeah, we have seen this matchup when Malzahar all that time ago has kind of changed a lot and was incredibly strong. It was Jensen that actually pulled it out in that counter matchup and did very well. Bjergsen, of course, also extremely familiar with Zilean, so see how he fares in the 1v1 matchup. But I kind of like what 100 Thieves are doing here, saying, you know what, we kind of messed up around the Baron. That's a pretty easy thing to fix. We'll get Cho'Gath to help us secure. This is a really strong but straightforward comp.
The problem is their mistake around Baron was not having wards in the Baron pit. It wasn't actually a big mistake executing a Baron, smite fight or anything like that. So they need to place the wards. They need to have that presence of mind to not lose track in the middle of the game. And
I say that that is a large responsibility for Afromu, who throughout this series hasn't looked on point. He had a lot of deaths earlier in the first game, and in the second game was the person who was leading the deaths for 100 Thieves. And so it's been a bit of an off day for him. And then when the warding comes through, and staying alive is so important so that you can reset when you want, so that you can get your wards down and keep your team safe. So I'm watching Afromu in this game in particular to see if he can bounce back from those 2 previous games, despite winning one of them, but it hasn't been a clean performance from him.
All right. 1-1, each team taking 1 game, and it has been explosive here at Oracle Arena in Oakland.
Kind of expected games to go a little slowly, but game 2 did speed things up a bit. So maybe it's just the Drake spawns, maybe it's just something in the water, but I hope as the series goes on, it does get faster. These 2 teams really want to win.
Maybe it's the Tristana Alistar duo bottom lane.
Probably helping.
A lot of playmaking ability here, and once again, Olaf. I always want to track what the team with Olaf is going to do level 1 if they try and go for the invade to get that early information. Ryu right off the bat, though, exchanging blows with Bjergsen here. Both of them taking a sip of the Corruption Potion.
Yeah, so you're going to want to back before the lane starts to get that refresh, but also they're just pushing so that you can't kind of have your mid laner show up on one of the sides and protect wards. And I'm looking at Grig right now. He has a sweeper in his inventory. If he's able to give something over to Bjergsen or somebody early and sweep a ward, then that would be just money in the pocket right there.
I think they saw Anda place this ward here up by Raptor, so that would be the one to try and go off of. Bjergsen's pretty far from the ward to come over for experience, but Hanser might be the one.
I think they're going to wait for Bjergsen.
Maybe they didn't see the ward placed.
We'll have to see in a second, but Mithy and Sven did get their own vision down next to the Raptor camp. They'll now rotate down to the bot side of the map.
Yeah, there it is. Sweeper goes off here, and then they are going to give it over to Hanser, but I believe Bjergsen still gets proximity experience on that.
Yeah, you're going to be able to still hit level 2 on the first wave here. Should be a huge, huge thing for Zilean Malzahar, but early on, Malzahar already a little bit difficult to land those last hits and push the wave out until you get some more ranks up in your E.
See, jungler's actually starting on the left side this time around, so bot lane is all 2v2. And Ryu and Bjergsen will be a little less exciting than other matchups we've seen, but still very important to push and keep your CS up.
As you can see too on the mini-map here, once again, Grig on the Graves goes red into Krugs immediately because of the value of this camp. You want it to respawn as quickly as possible. Huge amounts of gold experience put into that one, even though it is a little bit out of the way. Then you can transition down into scuttle control on your top side. He did walk over ward in doing so, though.
Yeah, but it's also him having red buff and going for the scuttle. So if an Olaf did show up, it'd be red versus blue. So it's a really good advantage there and making sure that you have at least one of the crabs. We'll see once he gets this one what his next move is, because the Graves doesn't have to go for the power farming right off the bat. He can actually just go for double scuttle, but I think he'll stop by the Raptors, get level 3 there, and then go to the opposite side. But they don't have any more wards to check that bottom scuttle.
Yeah, timers are a little long right now for the bot lane, but Venomithia at least trying to push in here and maybe give Grig some of that room.
Yeah, if Bjergsen is able to push out mid, I expect him to place a ward on the bottom right side here, but I don't think he can get control over the lane against this Malzahar.
2 charges left here for Ryu, so Bjergsen slightly ahead in the sustainability wars of mid lane. Lands the first number bomb here.
Ooh, nice stun. Dodges the silence out as well. He's going to trade well onto Ryu. Take down that Voidling and clear out the rest of the wave.
Yeah, he's able to explode a lot of those Voidlings. Nice to the AoE. Grig does get Scuttle number 2. King level 3. Pops the blast going here over Anda. Even though Anda did see that Grig hadn't gotten his blue yet, can't do anything about it.
Yep, just places down. I think that was his own little Poro there, just for some forward vision. And also Grig stopped doing the blue to just go on his camps.
Yeah, he could delay the blue so that you can have more use of the buff later and make the regeneration later. Also, you can delay the spawn timer because Enda will try and calculate that this is the time he kills off the blue. Maybe go for some sort of blue interrupt or mess up the jungle timers. Always is helpful to keep your opponent on their toes.
It's nice to see the difference, though, in junglers, because, like you said, in the series so far, Anda has dictated so much of the early pathing and pacing to Grig, but on something like Grave, having a much better time. And now, finally, it's Anda running off to Grig in the jungle and not the other way around.
And we did kind of talk a little bit about Malzahar's early CSing issues. Kind of difficult for most players to land those. Bjergsen on the Zillion with a sizable CS lead here over Ryu in the mid lane. And as I said, he's going top side to try and take away the second spawn of Krugs because he saw the route from Grig enter from top Tri-Brush down to the Scuttle. He knows that he went red into Krugs. So good move by Anda, honestly, to steal away this second spawn because the second spawn is the one that is not reduced and actually has the huge value.
Yeah, and that's actually, like you were saying, great pathing from him. Puts him on the top side of the map, which he knows Grig will take it back and then show up here. He's got a moment to strike.
Yeah, haunts are actually not too bad now, and actually taking up the turret. One more shot would do it, but he gets out of range just in time.
Yep, they weren't able to combine their skills here to force a flash out of Haunter. You would want to get the slow from Olaf first to then land the Rupture, but they didn't quite have the timing there. They knew they had to rush it before Grig arrived.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what Someday's mana looked like there either. It seemed like he was pretty low. But Grig, now he's going to go for an invade and check for the timers here, but the Wolf camp is already gone.
Yep, Grig can't make it in to try and contest.
And actually slingshotting and rubber banding past Grig because Grig was level 4 when Anda was level 3, and now he's gone straight through, and Anda hits 5 first.
Yeah, those Krugs, man. He's able to get the second spawn, and he's going to be able to get his Krugs as well. He just saw Grig invade his blue side, so he knows that his bottom side is his for the taking. He can power farm, get to the level 6 first. He's got his Predator ready as well. So if you get level 6 plus your Predator, he should be able to run straight through any lane to get off gank.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of people go, oh, we lost double scuttles, GG, go next, right? But the Krugs are actually worth so much. If you're able to cycle Krugs, and he's cycling his own right now, that is going to get him very close to that level 6. It would only take him kind of showing up in a lane for a second to actually hit that mark.
And the timing will work out very well with Malzahar level 6. Ryu, while he's behind in CS versus Bjergsen, all you have to do is press R, and you're going to be able to set up a gank very effectively. Actually, Dragon, though, started by Grig, and Anda is there.
And Anda, like you mentioned, is already 6 thanks to that jungle passing. So nice stun there from Bjergsen. His Haunts are also pressuring. The bomb is going to go off, but not enough to take down Ryu. Haunter, though, trying something in a threat, and there's the ulti. Ryu's caught the shot. He's forced to flash, but that's the bomb. Suppresto under the turret. The bomb is on top, and Haunter, he will grab first blood as Bjergsen's forced to chrono shift back to safety, but here comes Afromu. Flash from Bjergsen, flash rag there from Anda, that's a kill.
Afromu with the roam early on up, gets there before Mithy. They get Bjergsen as he revives from the chrono shift, and it is 100 Thieves actually come out with 2 kills, even though Haunter committed and got the first blood.
And Bjergsen just goes so far forward, has turret aggro, and then it takes so much damage from it, has to blow the chrono shift, and that was so smooth from Afromu there. That's how you start the game off right, when you had 2 games that were subpar for your normal performance. The headbutt on the minion into the flash Q.
Because afterwards here, Dragon started up by 100 Thieves, down to 2,500 health. Grig is here, though, for the smite fight.
And there's Sven actually over onto Cody. They're going to try and pressure him out. That will force Tristana to rocket jump away. Grig's still here ready with a smite, but the 100 Thieves trying to keep him out. There's the ult from Grig, but that just helps out Anda. Now a silence on Timothy as the rest of TSM reinforcements. Sven picked up a bomb. Runs back towards his team, not going to go forward.
Grig's low, and they don't have Zillion revive again. Early on, the cooldown is significant, and you don't get it back that quickly. So they were fronting a little bit right there, but you have to be kind of careful as they came through the river. And they're chased off. That was at a huge cost to TSM. If it had just been Haunter committing to that first blood, diving between turrets, and he trades kills and gets the first blood, it's not too bad for them. But because Bjergsen also tries to join, he loses out a lot of pressure on mid lane.
Yeah, he just went in to throw a bomb, and that was absolutely the wrong decision there because it gets him killed by the turret, and that was so smooth from Aphromoo there with the headbutt into the flash pull.
Also, that allowed Someday to push in the top lane, catch back up in CS, and now he's actually ahead of Haunter in CS here in the Cho'Gath Sion matchup.
Well, bot side also looking good despite the roam from Afro. Again, the more aggressive Tristan Alstal is getting some pressure down onto the turrets, and 100 Thieves up about 600-700 gold, kind of reversing some of the lanes that weren't looking quite so good. Ryu playing catch up nicely as well, and now it just feels like between the Malzahar ult and this pressure on Olaf, 100 Thieves are the team with all the control now.
Yeah, it comes to Bjergsen if he can actually ulti in time, but like you said, Anda, Ryu, the ultimates combined are something that they can use to train people down, especially someone like Grig. The jungle is going to be roaming around, he's going to be very squishy. Watching there, but I'm also watching Cody-san. This Tristana is actually doing work for them. It's got a CS advantage, it's knocking down turrets slowly but surely, and it seems to be forcing the Kai'Sa to take heal instead of the teleport, which is what TSM were using to have Sven go to a side lane and farm.
That's a pretty good point to bring up here, especially as the teleports are keeping right now, and Ryu on the Malzahar is the one with the teleport advantage. He's working with Anda. They move in as a duo to get this deep vision, drop off the Ghost Poro as well. In enemy territory will give you some bonus damage. Pretty free stats right there. Plus the deep vision all over this blue buff. And the turret going down there means that 100 Thieves want to make a play on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, seeing that blue buff, like you said, potentially roaming them to this side. But Anda's actually going and kind of hanging around the Scuttle Crab. See if they do anything here. Aphromoo going for a reset. Is it a lane swap? Will they swap the lanes? I think that might be the call here. Rift Herald is up. That's a tank up top. If you can catch TSM kind of with their pants down here and go, oh, Sven is still farming bottom, there's no TP, you run top lane, you can get the Rift Herald. It looks like Cody's actually going bottom. Aphromoo going to go towards the mid lane here and potentially look for a play. And
this is the other thing that Cody's kind of early success impression now that he's finished the Stormraiser does. We talked about Ryu and Anda being a duo. Well, Afro adds an awfully good champion to that trio if they want to try and make some plays. Anda, though, is going to dodge the Scry's Bloom, but Bjergsen hits him out with a bomb. Someday, though, going to silence Haunter after that knockup and look to chase him down. Feast is almost back up. He's got 5 seconds left, but Haunter going to walk out in time.
And just for the record, it is a Q-Max Scion here with W second. So the E-Max with the Comet pretty much gone. Just looking for knockup slows into autos for Glacial Augment.
Exactly, trying to make the most of that slow rune. Here we go, even invading, once again, we talked about the prep work that 100 Thieves did on the bottom side of the map. TSM still able to get a lock out of their jungle and clear some of those wards away.
Now Rift Herald again, 100 Thieves, all of this movement and vision has contributed to just having such a good foothold into the middle section of the map. Grig will kind of know what's going on. He's going to go over to the back of the pit. He's like, uh-oh, now I maybe know too much. And again, Ryu there first, dueling coming up for 100 Thieves. TSM can't really contest this.
Exactly, they've got a swap here. 100 Thieves pull everyone up to the top side of the map. Rift Herald going down, they protect it. And they should be able to utilize this towards the mid lane to get some damage on that very important mid lane turret and really open up the other side of the jungle as well.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for, is if they can open the mid lane, which is going to have all that wave clear. But the turret hasn't taken much damage, whereas that top turret, I feel like if you put the Rift Herald down, you actually get the top turret. And that's kind of this mid turret. It would need a little more work other than just the Rift Herald. But the top one could get you the turret immediately. That's always kind of the challenge when placing it.
Now we need to look ahead to the strengths of both these teams, and TSM definitely want to work as a 5-man coordinated group here. Zillion gains so much more effectiveness when you can group up with the rest of your team in the mid game off of a couple items here from Kai'Sa. So until that point, Sven in the side lane needs to farm up some more money, Once he completes his items, you're gonna try and 5-man it, have Sion on the front, and just have Zillion reviving the first target.
Well, looks like at least 100 Thieves will be called to some early action as Infernal Drake is spawning in 55 seconds. Kind of makes sense why Cody and Afro are sticking to this bottom side of the map. Cody, though, going to play it safe. Rocket jumps away, given how long the lane is. And Greg is trying to clear out some vision. TSM doing what they can, but good coverage here on the right side.
Yeah, with that bottom turret down, 100 Thieves, they didn't swap the map. They got the Rift Herald anyway. It allows them to keep pressure where they can keep pushing this bottom lane up. But TSM have done a good job of pushing them out of the jungle with their control wards. And watching the top side of the map, there's going to be a brawl back and forth because all teleports are up. Infernal Drake in 20 seconds here. Everybody's going to be looking at that objective.
Yeah, both junglers are staying bottom side, protecting their bottom laners here. You can see Anda there, trailing Cody Sun and Afromu all the way up this lane. And both junglers trying to dodge these wards. They might run into each other.
Yeah, Afro just going on to Mythi. A great amount of poke there, but the stun is going to land in. TSM going to TP Haunter in. But there's the follow-up there from Someday, so it'll just be a face-off. Never mind, it's Bjergsen. As Someday, never mind, Ryu actually cancels his TP that was coming down.
Yep, the mid laners there were the ones coming in. Top laners are busy exchanging blows here, and Someday's getting the better of it.
Yeah, Feasting is coming in about 10 seconds, but there's the ulti on the Bjergsen. Gonna need to move out the corner ship, but he gets it off just in time. Now Mythio, the next target, but he pops the ult and flashes out to the way. The Buster shot, not quite enough to pick him up, but Cody Sun still chasing. He gets so many kills, flash auto for one. That's gonna be the reset.
And that is going to be 100 Thieves with map control. Someday won the top side, pushing Haunter all the way back to his secondary turret. They win the 4-man fight around the dragon as well, and will be able to claim the Infernal.
And this is Someday doing something with nothing. He wasn't given almost anything. It was Haunter who made a play, got first blood mid, and this has just been the pressure that has come from it.
Different counter matchup. Someday looking very strong as Cody Sun continuing to kind of dial up the aggression. So watch this last replay.
All right, so they start out here in the jungle. Really good flank by Ryu there. There's actually wards all through the jungle too, so maybe going back to see how Ryu got through there. TSM, they tried to burst Bjergsen before he could get out of stun lock to get off his ultimate. He does not. In any case, they flash over the wall, finish off the kill, and still are able to get it.
And right here, TSM have swapped the lanes. They say they're going for a quick play, but 100 Thieves, they're right there as well. They have everybody in tow.
Still got the Rift Herald as well. It looks like Andrew is maybe going back down towards the mid lane. Still 100 Thieves reinforced here in the top lane.
Yeah, predicting the swap, and now Cody Sun with the Storm Razor and the Zeal ready to knock down turrets with his tanks pretty much defending him here. And that's going to be Haunter pushing out bottom, but I feel like they're going to seed this turret.
Remember, 100 Thieves also still have the advantage with the Rift Herald activated in mid lane, so they can get 2 for 1 here. Bjergsen's going to try and put a stop to it, but even if you stun her up, still gets the damage off.
And that's enough, just barely. Bjergsen can't quite keep 100 Thieves off the turret. As a result, that's then going up 3-0 in turrets right now.
And TSM are just losing across the map here. The Drakes are going over to 100 Thieves. The bottom lane with Cody Sun and Afro was able to burst through and get that turret very early on. And is that overextension through mid lane from TSM that cost them a lot and so kind of dispersed all of their pressure.
Let's take a step back here and look at this game from the lens we had coming into playoffs, where every team was talking about 100 Thieves, so predictable. They only play for late game, only play for those later team fights, trying to transition through objectives. But this series, they have come in with back-to-back Tristana Alistar lanes for the bottom lane for early pressure, and Olaf as their priority jungler to try and create action early on, and they have done that. Once again, they have an early lead, they have early Drake control, and more map to work with.
Yeah, and that Drake control coming off the bottom lane is something that TSM haven't done much this split, but 100 Thieves have, playing through Cody Sun, giving him a lot of attention, but Afromu roaming around, this is a much better game from him here, and we're seeing kind of, we thought about it was like, why is Rikara, getting subbed out? He was doing really well. Cody Sun in the last 2 games with the Tristana is just something that TSM always have to think about, and it helps them knock down turrets and progress the game and get it to that late game point.
Yeah, Cody right now is actually solo-ish topside. Does have Afro and the covering, but he is just pushing down waves almost on his own with impunity. That's how That's how big the struggle is for TSM.
TSM are going to try
them out of the
here.
way. Good outlet from Mythic, going to knock up the front line. Afro getting low. The bomb on him might be a kill. There's Horta riding in to clean up that next kill. Now Anda with the flash. So Ragnarok popped. He actually didn't have the summoner. That's an easy double for Horta.
And TSM strike back, seeing Someday bottom. They recall Hanser, and it's a 5-man top. That's why, while it was happening, we were like, it's going to be something for TSM here. They had already pulled the play and made it so that Hanser was going to be there and kind of give up the split push.
Early game advantage for 100 Thieves again, but TSM, once again, they make the play in their own jungle, get some kills back for themselves, and this is how it started previously. Here we go, though, Afremu on the front lines, taking a lot of damage, even through the ultimate. Then Hanser just bowls it right down the middle, able to hit him up and finish up the second kill there with Sven's follow-up. Killer instinct, getting some money in the right places. You can see quickly Sven is catching up.
Yes.
Intus is already completed, and the Nashor's Tooth is soon to follow.
Still has some catching up to do, though, because that 30 CS advantage, but all those kills for TSM are going to Hanser. He's 3-1 on this tank. He's a little bit ahead in his item build. Now he's got that even CS, but in the side lane, I like how he went and grouped up, and it was potential for Someday to have to blow TP, but he didn't lose anything in his turret there. If you keep doing that, though, you might start losing some structures against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, especially because, again, TSM do not have any of their own, so these lanes are pretty short for them to try and play with. And Sven actually getting aggressive, TP in. TSM want to force another fight. They're going to force the flash out, but Afro does get stunned on the other end. Here's Haunter, but Someday is going to join. Ulti out there, make sure he doesn't get knocked up by the Rupture, and the fight resets. Yeah,
Afremu does have to burn his flash, and a lot of damage taken as well, though, because his ult wasn't quite back up. So that is a very dangerous situation for 100 Thieves. They have to protect his retreat.
Yeah, but that's the TPs from both of those laners in the top side. So Hanser and Someday, they'll have to find ways into these fights and probably be closer to the Baron than they would want, or the team's going to have them push and then recall.
Afremu looking.
Someday also flanking around the side. Mithy needs to get out of there. Ulti's onto Someday. They're going to try and take him down, but there's the ult from Ryu. Able to easily shut that down as Someday feasts on Mithy.
And what a flank there from 100 Thieves. Cody's going up!
He's going in, looking for the 1v1. The corner shift is there for the Resurrect, but here's Anna and Someday following up. But there's a good killer instinct for Sven for a bit of extra health. Cody, though, little low. There's the ult from Graves. Afro about to get picked off. Griggs able to get the kill on Afro, now chasing onto Ryu, who's got no ulti. Haunter flashes forward. Bjergsen flashes forward. Haunter does land the stun in onto Ryu as Cody is still trying to fire away. Ryu will be chased down by the Scion. Can't flash away. And Haunter on a killing spree.
And TSM get 2 of them out of that jungle fight and set up a Baron once again. Are you kidding me? 20 minutes into the game, they've got control.
But Anda is up. Some days, I'm sure they don't have the abilities to steal it. But Bjergsen has no mana there to protect him.
Gonna get some kills instead. There's Haunter with the ulti. Grabs the knock-up. Sven gets another kill. Actually his first of the whole game. But happy to grab it. Haunter has been taking them all so far. Because we'll watch this fight again.
Yeah, they don't get the Baron off it, but the headbutt from Afremu puts Mithy over the wall, flashes over, ultis, and then there's no ulti from Bjergsen here onto Mithy. He saves this for Sven, crucially, because he gets jumped on here by Cody's son, and is absolutely necessary. The fact that Mithy sacrificed himself so that the damage dealer of Sven can stay alive and start dishing out damage in the back half of the fight is absolutely massive, as Grig, Bjergsen, and Haunter team up on the bottom side of this fight to chase out Ryu.
100 Thieves got a bit split after that first kill, trying to finish off Sven on the Kai'Sa, but Bjergsen got the Zillion ult off over the wall, and it turned the entire team fight around for TSM. Now being able to claim the Dragon afterwards as well. We're back to the mid game, guys, and we are back to TSM in their strength.
And again, this game is basically back to even, but TSM this time are the team that actually have 0 turrets at this stage of the game. It will not take long at all to catch up and then easily exceed the lead the 100 Thieves have built up. So we know the Baron's going to be a big point of contention. That's been true all series long so far. But for TSM to be this close to 100 Thieves, given the situation, is very impressive.
Yeah, and this should give 100 Thieves theoretically more room to work with because they have all those outer turrets down, and they should be able to push up, and TSM shouldn't have deep vision. But the fights have been happening on TSM's side of the map. It's been 100 Thieves that have been aggressive in starting them and going for those plays, but TSM have just been reacting. That's their strongest suit when they talked about it in the regular season, was they don't look proactive because they're better being reactive and scaling during that time.
We can see Ander does clear out the pit. Grieg forced to check it, does put a ward into the back of it now. The teams will be jostling for vision of Baron back and forth. Bjergsen with TP ready, he's going to roam up to the top lane and start side laning there. And looks like TPs are not quite back for the top laners, so have to be careful as they're still down there. In fact, Ryu going to make this an unfair fight. Oh, blocked up. Here's Ryu going to try and get the combo started. Silence lands, dead suppressed. TP in though from Bjergsen, going to try and chain his teammate. Just the regular resurrect from the passive there. Someday will claim the kill.
Predator makes it so easy for Malzahar to roam down the river and join that fight. Haunter, I think, chased Someday a little bit too far up the river. Now there's an extra man advantage here for 100 Thieves as they try and push up both side lanes. Mid lane here goes down very quickly through the explosive shot of Cody-san. Meanwhile, bottom lane as well is going to get right up to the turret.
Yeah, and they've separated Bjergsen from the rest of the team. He has to wave clear duty on the bottom side. So if they go for an aggressive play, they have to be careful.
Almost no way to save that turret, so 100 Thieves will swoop in and take it. As the tier 2 mid does fall down. Still, teams kind of playing slow, just getting their advantages where they are obvious. No teams just rushing straight to Baron just yet.
Baron does have control wards on it right now, though. 100 Thieves do have complete vision of this area and even the Raptor Pit leading up to it. So they would like to reset to grab the purchases right now, but they also want to try and defend these as long as possible. So Cody-san coming down the river, trying to scare TSM back, not let them move in and get these control wards for free.
Cody also building up pretty quickly towards the Infinity Edge, and kind of when that's completed, I think then 100 Thieves will feel a lot more able to freely engage. Like Cody-san's kind of making me look like a liar, but a stun from Bjergsen makes it a little tricky. Hops out of the way just in time, though.
But Cody-san, like you said, he is actually very close to it. He has the BF sword, but he's also got 2,000 gold now, so he's at that point now where he'll be able to get that Infinity Edge in almost no time.
Feels like we're not going to be waiting too much longer for a team to start. The Baron TSM, though, kind of pushing in the top lane to move 4 in to take down the outer turret and finally get a structure for themselves.
Yeah, much needed gold here for TSM as they get a little bit closer, and they were also able to clear out some of the wards around Baron critically, but they lost the inside track here on mid lane and bottom lane.
Yeah, especially that bottom lane where Cody-san looked like he could potentially roam there and help knock that turret down, but somebody's going to be able to take care of it himself, and that's the 5th turret for 100 Thieves picked up in this game, where TSM just got there first.
And look, TSM do need some room around the Baron, so it is good to take down the top turret, but looks like the bottom turret, especially if it went down, looks like it actually barely stays alive.
Yeah, it doesn't have the vision. We have God vision. We can see where TSM are. He's got all of this kind of blank space, the fog of war on his right side. That spooked him a little bit, but it's the right play to back off there and not overcommit.
Infinity Edge is done now, though, for Cody, so 100 Thieves a bit quicker back around the Baron area. There's a Scuttle Crab. Ander will be first to the scene, so should be able to take it. In fact, ignore it for now and just start the Baron and force TSM to come to you.
Yeah, it's been a little bit too late, though. TSM have vision. They've seen them gone into the river here. Grieg is pretty far away, though.
Haunter goes straight onto Afromu, and Cody-san actually gets knocked up by Minty's ult. They're going to try and finish off the Baron. They've got the feast. They will get it, but they need to get out safely. Ult there onto the side of the 100 Thieves. They're going to turn things back around. Here's Grieg with a flank, but now he's going to get run down by Ander. Cody-san able to find the kill. That last crit, barely not enough to give him the reset, but he's got his sums. He'll be safe. They're going to try and get everyone else out of his bed. He face checks into a silence. He's got the chrono shift for Grieg. He's dead to Ryu. Afro looks to find him, but Sven actually lives. And he's able to kill Ander on the other side. Bjergsen, though, is getting run down. Ryu, flash forward, silence, barely misses onto the speedy Jillian, but it doesn't matter. Ryu gets the kill anyway.
And TSM chased too far up the river. 100 Thieves turn it around, and they still have Baron buff. This is going to be a huge push. Already the teleport's coming out from Ryu.
Yep, Ryu's going to push this one. Somebody's going to push the top, and then they have Cody-san and Afromu in the middle lane here. A tri-lane push here from 100 Thieves.
The timing was good, but the execution was better. 100 Thieves come up big around the Baron. They'll take the buff down, and they'll win the fight on the back end as well. Mid-inhib is dead.
Sven?
Bot-inhib tower is dead as well, and Sven is trying to 1v1 at Cho'Gath, and Someday makes him pay.
It has been the summer of Someday, and now on the Cho'Gath, he's still the marksman. 100 Thieves complete control in this game after that play.
2 inhibs dead as a result. 100 Thieves working on a third with 2 minutes still left on the Baron buff. This tower is pretty indefensible. Cody's not going to make quick work of that with explosive charge. And now TSM, one last bastion really for them to protect. And Someday is going to pop the righteous glory and run straight towards them. Oh, onto Greg. Here's Haunter again. Going to try and interrupt at the corner shift, though. Used on the Graves, and 100 Thieves will try and back out of there. Someday is going to get knocked up, but Afro is playing zone duty. As the ulti will revive Greg. Still there fighting, but under Ragnarok goes unstoppable, and Cody is still there ready to fight. TSM just don't have a window to try and force something, as Sven is still running back from the fountain. And TSM, they'll be forced back.
TSM, they hold on to kind of the last part of their base with 2 inhibs down right here. Haunter's coming in, Sven's coming in, Grig is nowhere in sight. He's on the top half of this, and he can't get in time, and it's against the Cho'Gath.
Yep, that's why 100 Thieves are forcing it so hard on the Baron. Why TSM rushed into the fight 4v5, because they knew they had no chance without Grig there. They had to try and stop it. Both junglers actually got away there with sub 50 HP. Olaf as well, very low, but then Sven chases up into the brush. Someday, right there, they get the combo with Ryu finishing off Grig. That allows the rest of them to chase down the river.
Yeah, and this right here, looked like Bjergsen was gonna get away, but that takes a little bit longer than you would think. And right here, Sven, he sees Someday. He's got a red buff. Feels like he can kite him.
3 levels down.
You're waiting to dodge a Q, but it's like, he never throws it out.
So he wanted to use his killer instinct there to dodge the other side, but once he got silenced, once he ran into melee range and got silenced, he just gets killed in the silence. Chomp down, use the ultimate there. Maybe he thought that it was still down on cooldown or something from the Baron, but in the end, it was not, and now it's on cooldown from taking him.
Whatever he thought, he was wrong in that instance. Someday able to grab a pretty unlikely solo kill. 100 Thieves still back with a few seconds left on this Baron to pressure TSM. Minty ate a ton of damage from the Malzahar Q, and now again, he's going to face check forward for the ult from Ryu. He's going to start to burn him down. He's low, as Someday is also tanking and threatening the backline.
Someday's going to die.
Tries to find a snipe, but he doesn't quite get it. Someday, though, will die to the Kai'Sa. So good at shredding through the frontliners.
They're sticking around though. 100 Thieves, even without their tank, they have the pressure of the minions. The 5th player here doing work on the Nexus turrets, and TSM trying to hold them off the inhibitor.
They have to find a way to kill Cody, but it just doesn't seem possible. Under now frontlining, he's going to be the next target, but he pops Ragnarok and walks away. Cody's son stepping forward. 100 Thieves, do they commit for this inhibitor?
They really want to, because once you have these inhibitors down, it becomes much harder for you to revisit it, and you just get farm on these guys. You don't want that Kai'Sa to be able to hit that death cap, hit those big power spikes afterwards that keep her defensive.
Minions are still flooding into the base. Another wave is about to crash through with the super minion stacking up, and Sven has to leave to deal with it. So 100 Thieves just trying to keep the pressure up and finish off inhibitor number 3.
And they even TP in Someday here after dying, comes back up. They have the ultis.
They're going to go again. They need to try and pick someone off here. Good smokescreen finds Cody and Afro. And there's Haunter charging into the backline, but again he gets ulted by Ryu. He will be taken down. Haunter able to resurrect, I think, from the chrono shift this time around. But now he's going back. This time he'll resurrect through passive. And the base is already getting ripped apart. 100 Thieves, it just doesn't matter. They'll take the inhib, they'll win the team fight, and they'll win this game. Cody flashes forward, Ryu gets a double kill, and 100 Thieves are 1 win away from taking down TSM in Oakland.
Once again, 100 Thieves take control of the early game. Playmaking on display.